Hello there everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that might be new here, my name is Danielle Rochford and I'm a grade 7 and 8 online teacher. I'm also a Google certified trainer. And today we're going to be taking a look at Google Classroom and diving deeper into those assignments. Last week, I did a video where we took a look at the different types of assignments that teachers can create on Google Classroom. And if you're interested in catching up on that, I will link that video up in the cards for you to catch up on. We are going to take a look once again at those different types of assignments, but we're going to take a look at some of the different options that are available for teachers, different settings that you can use to sort of mix things up for students. And not only are we going to take a look at what teachers are able to do, but we're actually going to be doing a side-by-side view of a teacher version of Google Classroom and the student version. So we're going to be able to get the student view of everything and how students can respond to those assignment types and what they can do as well. All right, so here on the screen, we have on the left-hand side the teacher version of Google Classroom, and on the right-hand side, we have the same class. Actually, if I put that in there, there we go. Now we have the class opened from the student view. And I'm going to, on the student page here, I am going to open the classwork page so that we can see all of those assignments that have already been posted. Now I want to take you through some of the different assignment types that we have here, and I've broken them down by topic. So each different topic is a different assignment type or different post type that a teacher can have on Google Classroom. So this very first post, we've provided some materials for the student. And so with these materials, this is a materials post is not one that you provide a due date for. It is basically some resources that you provide for students. You will notice that on the student view, the icon for materials is a gray color instead of the blue color. And what that means is that it doesn't have something that has to be done. So as students are on their classwork page, this actually works as a great to-do list. Now, there is another to-do list, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that in a future video. But if you use your classwork page as a to-do list, it's a great visual reminder here for students whether or not they have completed something, because the icons that are colored are ones that they still need to complete, or they have something that they need to do. And on this materials post, of course, there's nothing that they need to do. They are just files that need to be referenced. They are, teaching materials or resource materials, whatever you want to call that. Okay, and so that is the materials post and what it looks like on the student view. So they can take a look directly right here in the classwork page, or they can do sort of a close-up view of it, so view material. And it brings up the whole file here, and they're also able to make class comments on it if they would like to. So for example, if they had a question about one of the pieces of material that you provided, they can add a class comment, and that will be seen by all the other students in the class. All right, if we go back to the classwork page here, we're going to take a look at some assignment types that a student would need to complete. So this first one would be an assignment where the student would need to upload a file for the teacher to view. Okay, so for example, you could say that the student needs to write an essay, or they need to provide a Google slide presentation or something like that. Okay, this is where you would provide your instructions, and I'll show you here on the I'm going to edit it so that we can see it here, what it looks like on the teacher side. So you have your title as well as the description. You can add or create items on that assignment for students if you would like to. I have a few other examples where we've done that. And then place your settings in place, okay? On the student side here, they take a look at the instructions and say, okay, this is what I need to do. If it's something they just need to view something, I've done that for my students before. It's I provide them with like a resource video or something like that and attach the video, and then all they need to do after they finish watching is mark it as done. Okay, so students can mark an assignment as done, or if you want them to hand something in, say for example a Google Doc or something else that they've created, a file that they have that they need to supply for you, they can go to the add or create button, and it will give them many options for what they can do to show their work. So for example, they could attach something that is already existing in their Google Drive, a link to maybe a website that they've created, or a file from their computer. But they can also create new Google Docs directly from the assignment. So say for example, I wanted to add a doc. It would create it there for me. Okay, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to think about it and get it going there, but then it opens up the doc for me. And notice here the title. It has the student name as well as the assignment name there. And so that is helpful for when it comes to handing in this particular assignment. So we're going to quickly type something, and there's my assignment. Okay, as we're done, in a Google Doc, there is the option to turn it in directly from the doc. Okay, but the other option is you can actually go back to the assignment itself, and you can turn it in. Okay, and that will turn in the Google Doc that has been attached to it. Okay, and so I'm going to do that here. Turn it in. We say yes, that is exactly what we would like to do, and then the student turns it in. Now, if we take a look back on the teacher side of things, and I'm going to update this here now, we'll notice that we now have one turned in. Okay, and so as a teacher, I could go in and I can take a look. All right, so it's Heidi Elizabeth that has handed something in, and I can take a look at the document that they have submitted for me. Okay, and so I can see the document here. All right, and I can provide a grade directly from here if I would like to. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And then we can press the return button. This will return it back to the student with a notification of their grade. Okay. Or there is another way we can do that. We can actually do that directly from here. So we can click on this and we can return this to the student directly from here. So either way works. It's the same thing in both places, just two different ways to do the same thing. All right. So that is an assignment where the student might need to upload something. Okay. And now that we're back on the classwork page here, I want to point out that on the student classwork page, now that the student has handed in the assignment, that icon is no longer colored. It is gray. Okay, which means that the student can take a look and say, all right, I've already handed something in. I'm done and I don't need to worry about that anymore. Okay, and so that goes along with the idea of using the classwork page for a to-do list. All right, let's see this next assignment here. We're going to take a look at this one. This is also an assignment type. Okay, and with this one, what we've done is we have provided a template for the student to use. So you'll notice that there is already a Google Slides file under the Your Work section. So we've provided, as a teacher, we provided that template. And we have also provided a rubric for the students so that they know exactly what to expect for completing this task and what the teacher is looking for. Okay, and so rubrics are something that we can attach to an assignment. This is also a topic that is coming up in a future Google Classroom video where I'll go more in depth on exactly how we can go about creating those rubrics. Okay, but if we take a look here, we can open up the Google slide file that the teacher has provided. And we'll take a look and say, okay, the instructions we have up here at the top, move the square inside of the circle. Okay, and we will do that. And then I'm going to change the order here so that we can actually see that square. Okay. And so now we have finished with the instructions. And notice that on Google Slides, we don't have that same turn in button that we did on Google Docs. Okay, so depending on the file type that your students are using, they might see that turn in button directly on the file or not. Okay, but still, we can go back to the assignment, say, all right, we're done. I've completed the task exactly like the teacher has asked me to, and I can turn it in. All right, we confirm. Yep, we're turning it in. And then we have finished that task. And once again, it has changed the icon color. Okay, so if we take a look on the teacher side now, we see, yes, one has been turned in. And so we can take a look once again. Yes, it is Heidi Elizabeth. We will take a look at the work that they have done. Excellent. They moved the square right inside of that circle like asked. And so now what we can do is we can use our rubric to score the task. Okay, however we might want to there. Okay, all right. And once again, we can return from here, or we can return from the actual page here. And sometimes it takes a little bit for the score to update on this page, but it will, as you see right there. Now it has done that, and we can return it directly from this page. Okay. All right, now if we go back to our student version here, we have another assignment type where in it a student is going to add a Google Doc for a written assignment. And in this task, the teacher has turned on originality reports. Okay, which means that they are going to be able to double check their work to make sure that they are staying away from plagiarism, that they are not copying work, that it is original, it is theirs. Okay, and so we are going to add a Google Doc here. Okay, and now we're going to do a little bit of writing. All right, so now what I have done is I have taken a little excerpt actually from the internet on a socials topic. So I'm a Canadian teacher, so we're going to take a look at John A. Macdonald, okay, a significant individual in Canada history, and we're going to post that there and say that this is what we wanted for our essay here. And so Heidi Elizabeth has done this, and she figures that she is going to she's going to turn that in. What she can do is, because the teacher has turned on originality reports, back on the assignment here, she can run an originality report, okay, where it will take what she submitted and compare it to different text that is already on the internet, okay? All right, and so, and And so it verifies that that's what you want to do, gives some background information to the limitations of it, okay? And we're going to run that, okay? And so you'll notice up here that it is running the originality report, gives a percentage of how close it is to being done, okay? And once it is finished, we can view the originality report. And so we click on that, we take a look and say, oh, all right, there are some definite places on the internet that have been referenced, okay? So 73% of the content is flagged. It shows you the web references and matches that it found, okay, Wikipedia, all right. And so that is an example of an originality report. And so that is something that can be done. Now, there are limitations with this if you are just using the free G Suite accounts that are made available to schools. So I believe it is 3 originality reports that are able to be done per class. Okay, so if you have, say for example, we have this training demo class on Google Classroom, I can choose 3 assignments in that class to use originality reports on. Okay, and so those are the limitations for the free version. There are, if you upgrade to the enterprise version of G Suite, if that's what your school has, then there is wider availability for originality reports there. Okay, but for the free version, you still do have access to it, but it is limited access. Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. All right, and so we can turn that in. And there we go. There is another assignment done. Okay, and so we'll go back to our classwork page. All of those variations of the assignments are done, and that takes us to the quiz type of assignment. Okay, now I talked about this post type in my previous video. This is the post type that automatically puts in a Google Forms quiz for you. Okay, and so if you take a look here, you'll notice that there's a Google form attached to it. Okay, so we can access it directly from here, or we can go ahead and view the assignment. Okay, if we take a look and open up the file, we see we have our practice quiz here that our students can go through and fill out. Okay, let's see, what's the best answer? Let's say it's no. Choose the blue square. Here we go, and done. Nice and easy quiz, right? So once we do that, we can view our score. It will let us know what we got right and what we got wrong, our total score. So 1 out of 2 points. Oh man, no was the incorrect answer. And notice we have some feedback here as well. Sorry, try again. And we have some feedback there that can be provided. All right, nice little gift there for us. All right, and so there is our, we're able to get immediate feedback using that quiz type. We can open the assignment from here if we already still have it open. We can go back here. You'll notice that this has already been submitted, right? So we don't have the option to turn it in anymore. We can unsubmit, okay? So that is one of the benefits of that. Once you do finish the quiz, then most often Google Classroom will automatically submit this for students. Sometimes it doesn't. So I have seen sometimes where a student will complete the quiz and then come back and they will have to manually click submit, but most often it will automatically submit it for students. Okay, and so that's an example of the quiz type of assignment. All right. And now that takes us to the final type that we're going to take a look at, and that is the question type assignment. All right, and so there's a number of different options for what we can do. The examples that I have here are 4 different examples. Okay, so the first 2 are short answer examples, and the last 2 are multiple choice examples. So for this first one, it is a short answer. And the students are not provided with the answer to reply to anybody. So basically what that means is a student can go in, They can take a look at the question, what is your favorite color? And they can type their answer and then turn it in, okay? And that is that, okay? In the settings, I did provide the option to edit answers. So if students want to go back and they need to edit their answer, they can, but that option can be turned off. So that once the student has placed their answer in there, they do not have the option to go back and edit, okay? But they also don't have the option to reply to other students. So they don't see what other students have replied, and they don't have the option to make comments on other students' answers, okay? They can make class comments, okay? But when it comes to the actual answer, the class comments would be more for if they wanted clarification on something that they wanted everybody to see, or just if they just wanted the teacher to see it, they could make private comments. But their answer is put up here, and nobody else sees it but the teacher, okay? Now, a similar thing right here. So we also have another short answer question, but this one, I have made the settings here, and I'm going to bring it up on the teacher end here, so we can take a look. So notice over here, I've clicked on students can reply to each other. Okay. Something you also notice is I don't have clicked students can edit answers. So this is an example of where students will put in their answer and then they won't be able to change it. Okay. But they will be able to see others' replies, and they will be able to reply to other people as well. Okay. So our student account over here, what is your favorite food? Let's say grapes. Okay. Now you'll notice that the student hasn't replied yet, and so they don't have an option to see anybody else's. They don't have the option to reply to anybody else. Google Classroom does this thing where students have to put in their own reply first, or their own answer to the question first, before they can reply to anybody else or see anybody else's responses. Okay, so if we turn it in, confirm that yes, we want to turn it in. All right, we have the option to see classmates' answers. All right, and so a student could click on that, and now they'll be able to see what their other classmates have responded with. And notice that there is a reply button. Okay, yeah, me too. All right, so we can reply to others. We can see what the replies are. We can have a conversation going on here if we would like to, okay? So that is what we're able to do when we have ticked off the option for students being able to respond to each other. All right, so now if we take a look, we have two final question types here, and they are different forms of multiple choice questions. Okay, and in this first multiple choice question, students will be able to see a summary of the results. Okay, and so if we take a look over here on the teacher version, notice we have all of our instructions, our titles, our options we've placed in here as well, and we have checked off students can see class summary. Okay, so we're able to see the class summary once we put in our answer. So let's say we're going to vote for red, turn it in, and then once we have turned it in, we get to see how everybody else has voted. Now we don't get to see who has voted what way, but we do get to see a summary of the results there. Okay. Now our final one here is a multiple choice question where they're not able to see a summary of the results. Okay, and so for this one, in the settings, that option has been checked off. Okay, and so that's how we do that. So if we go in here and vote, say I'm going to vote orange, we're going to turn it in. Yes, confirm that. and then we're done. We don't see a summary of the results. We don't see the way that anybody else has voted. We just see what we've done, okay, and how we've handed it in. All right, so hopefully that was helpful for you. You've taken a look at some of the different options for assignment types on Google Classroom from both the teacher and student perspective. So hopefully that helps us to be able to plan a little easier some of the different ways that we can use these assignments on Google Classroom. Thanks so much for sticking around, and if you enjoyed what you saw today, I'd encourage you to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you won't miss any future videos that I upload. Have a great day, everyone.